Today on the channel, we got Batman, surprise, surprise, from DC McFarlane Toys. This time, a deluxe edition from Detective Comics, 587, Night People.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys unboxing and review. And today, we're diving into some of them no good night people with Detective Comics number 587, Batman. But for all your Batman needs and a whole lot more, hit up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 15% all in-stock items. Yes, 15%. Gotta get a deal out there. And of course, this one, I believe, a McFarlane Toy Store exclusive, at least as of right now. Got the old gold label right there. And that's where I did pick that up. From Todd, your very own store. I think you're running out of a shed in your backyard, if I'm not mistaken. It looks to be the same address. I'm just saying, Todd. But a good-looking figure here, a deluxe figure, an interesting figure. And we're going to dive into it. And we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. So without further ado, let's see what the night people are up to here with a bit of a 2-in-1 Batman, I guess we'll call this one here. Little darker suit version of Batman. You do got a bit of a statue he can stand on. Look extra menacing, of course. How do you like your capes? You like them soft? You like them hard? Well, you get both in this one here. Some accessories, some extra hands, big bubble window. Looking very, very good as far as the Night People do go, of course. On the side, Detective Comics 587, Night People, Batman. Never read the issue, so don't know about the story. Batman over there. Then on the back, some beautiful artwork, but in a little bit of a head scratcher, we got a different colored Batman going on here. So does that mean we're going to get this re-released in this color scheme? Get out of here with that, Todd. We're getting sick of that kind of business there. We're getting all these Batmans in 2 different colors. Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it, Todd. Don't like it. But I could see them doing that in the future. It'll be a platinum gold label or something like that. It writes itself at this point. So stay tuned to that one in 2025, I am sure. 12 and up. Did I mention that, Mark Summers? I know you take that very personally. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Todd. And Mark, too. All right, let's pull it out. Let's see what's going on. We're going to whip it out Batman style. See you later. Goodbye like a young Mark Price at the 3-point line for the Cleveland Cavaliers back in the day. Where's Mark Price these days? See you later. Goodbye. See you later. Goodbye. Let's read the back of the comic. How about the card? How about the card? Real name? Bruce Wayne. You're kidding me. The Batman visits the dark side of the American dream. What does Dusty Rhodes have to do with this? That seems awfully strange. To find out who is terrorizing the homeless of Gotham City. And the homeless, give them a home, Bruce. You got a lot of room, just like you, Todd McFarlane. You got your own bat cave out there in Arizona. You could bring in all the homeless. They could all live there. They could have a good camp out in your backyard, I am sure. Detective Comics looking good, though. I do like the artwork on this one. I will say that. Now, we got to get down to the old plastic prison here. Old Batman doing Batman things, and he's strapped in all over the place. We got tape. We got the Cambodian tape. We got the clip ties. We got it all going on here. Going to take this offline, and we'll get Night People, Batman, out of the package. All right, we're back with Batman, of course, from the Night People Detective Comics, and I'm not sure what I'm feeling about this one here. I think I got some big-time gripes with this one. Some cool stuff, but some pretty heavy gripes, and we're going to dive into it. We're going to start with the accessories first, and for a reason I'm not sure why, we do get Scarface, I believe is the puppet's name here. Why does he come with this set? I'm not sure. I guess he must be in that Night People comic. I've never read that, but very strange to get this just kind of as a one-off accessory, it seems like. But if he's in the comic book, I guess it makes sense there. And like I said, I have not seen the comic books. But Todd McFarlane on the couch, he's got some wicked side-eye. You know we're here for that all day long. And twice on Sunday. You're exactly right, Todd McFarlane. Todd playing all the hits from the couch, stealing my material is what he's doing. We do get a little Batarang action here, a little bluish color Batarang, midnight blue. How about that? Same thing with the extra hands, midnight blue in color. We get 2 fists of Batman Fury, and we get 2 different splayed out hands. two gripping hands out of the package. Choose your own Batman hand adventure, as we always say right there. And then we do get a little bit of a mask, a little bit of a breathing mask, and I'm just saying it, I'm pretty sure, somebody fact check this, nothing against the homeless. I'm sure most homeless people are the salt of the earth out there. They're probably the first one to give you, of course, the shirt off their back. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Todd and Mark both told me about this mask, that it was Batman in the comic. He was going deep into the homeless population, and a lot of these homeless people, unfortunately, not showering or choosing not to shower, whatever the reason may be. And they smell a little bit funky. So Batman did bring a gas mask here. I wish this was life-size because this does smell like a China factory out of the package. So I could use this for me as well. But somebody feel free to fact check it. And don't get mad at me about saying the homeless are smelly. They said it over there on the couch, not me. Don't shoot the messenger. I just work here. There you go. But we do get a little bit of a stand statue, I guess. Now, feels weird not to get our classic circular McFarlane stand right here, but we do get a stand here with 2 points. I guess you could put Batman up there. It's like he's looking over the ledge of a building. He's checking out the scene in the city tonight, looking for you to start up the fight, I think is what he's ready to do there. But cool for what it is, but not everybody's going to want to use this because of shelf space, I am sure. So not going to be for everybody, but interesting. And it's one of those things you could use with other toy lines if you really wanted to. We get the big eagle here, a little chain going on. Some scary gargoyles over there, R.I.P. gargoyles from NECA. I haven't even unboxed any yet on the channel. It sounds like the line's already canceled. One of these days we'll get to unboxing those, I'm sure, or maybe we won't. Who knows? But it is a stand/statue. Choose your own adventure what you want to do with this one right here. Very thin plastic as well, very light. Kind of makes sense there. Now we do get 2 capes here. Now we get the second cape here because the first one does come out of the package with the hard plastic cape, but we get our beautiful soft cape here, and it's a big cape, it's a whimsical cape, it's a Batman cape, looking very good, a very dark blue to this one here. You got the overlay right here. Of course, you pop the head off, pop the head on here, pop this underneath. Choose your own cape adventure. I appreciate being able to choose my cape adventure. I feel like a young Lando Calrissian rolling open my closet door and saying, which one am I going with today? And I'm going with the classic blue. That's what I'm going with. But I will probably use this one on this Batman because this one, hot garbage. Yes, you heard it here first, hot garbage. This figure is a little bit difficult when you're using this cape. Now, this is extremely heavy plastic cape. This isn't the thin plastic capes of old. This is heavy-duty plastic on this one. Not a lot of movement out of it. Very, very heavy. It makes this figure very heavy as well. Very whimsical in nature. It works great. It looks great. I got no problems with it. It's a nice-looking cape for what it is. It looks like Batman standing on the top of a building. The wind's blowing that cape, of course, going on there. So I get what it's trying to represent. But do we want this to be an action figure or a statue, Todd? We got to make our decisions here. It can't go both ways. This is if you want the statue look. You can't move them. You can't do anything because the minute you start moving these arms, look at that. Look at that. That's the hottest garbage I've ever seen. This could be one of the worst figures of the year because of this. You move the arms anywhere at all, you're losing this whole head. Now, it just claps back right in there. Same thing as that. You just plug it right in. So it does go in, but it's not on there tight enough to withstand any articulation move. That's a joke. That's a joke at this point. Is somebody pranking me? Am I on an episode of Punk'd? What's going on here? Is there somebody going to come out with a candid camera saying, Kyle, we got you, Kyle. We knew you'd get all worked up. I don't understand this at all. I'm absolutely at a loss here. Basically, this is a statue. You're going to have to display it just like this, which isn't terrible for everybody if that is your thing. But I didn't buy a statue. I bought an action figure. I want to be able to move this thing around. I want to be able to do some stuff with it. I don't want him posed with his arms at his side on display. That's just not for me for this figure. That's where, Todd, you do save a little bit of face on this one. I'm glad we got this soft goods here because you're not going to have that same problem with the soft goods that you have with this one. So I'm going to take this off right now is what I'm going to do. And we're going to switch over to the soft goods cape just to make sure. We better test it, Todd. We got to test these things. You know, somebody's got to speak for the people. And I'm the people, I guess, is what we're going to say. But we're going to pop that head on, hopefully. There we go. Okay. Now we're getting a little bit better, I think is what we are. But, man, this is very heavy. Great idea in theory. Terrible in execution. I'm saying it. Got to calls it like I sees it. We know how that goes there. This is a lot worse. This is terrible, too. What are we doing? What are we doing here? This is really falling apart really quick here. So are we not able to do any articulation with this Batman? What are we doing? This is an expensive deluxe figure, too. I'm putting that on there as tight as I possibly can. I'm pushing it in there. and you raise these. Oh my gosh, what are we doing? Oh my gosh, Todd, get over here. Now, Todd, we're gonna go out back a little bit later. We're gonna have to. I don't know what's going on here. This is a mess. This is a very hot mess. I don't know. You think they would have ran through this at like the factory or the prototype stage and say, guys, I would have been on that line. I would have been speaking probably Chinese or something, but I would have said, guys, and of course Mandarin, but just play with me here. I'd be like, guys, I got an issue with this one. I think we got some issues with the head sculpt on this. We got some big issues with this Batman. I think we should investigate, maybe change the design up. And I'm guessing somebody in the factory just said, absolutely not. Time is money. Keep it going. Nobody will care. Everybody's a minimum card collector, minimum box for this. Nobody's going to open it up. And then you got poor little Kyle here over in America, in the central states of course, the United States, just sitting here hoping to get this out of the package, and it just falls apart on me. So I don't even know what you do with this at this point. This is just maddening to me. I mean, I don't want to display him just like he's at, graduation, standing there waiting to get his name called is what we're going to be doing here. Just, I don't get it. I thought for sure this one worked better. But it's just as bad as this one. So you can't put the arms anything past this. You go after this, it's just knocking it off. So I don't know what we're doing here. And then you look at the glamour shots for this thing, the solicitation. He was a lot darker. He's a little bit, he's dark still, but he's not as dark as solicited. So there's a little bait and switch on that as well. I like this color scheme. I'm okay with it. But a little bait and switch on that one. So this cape just gave me all kinds of fits, as my grandma would say. Now, it's a beautiful cape, big cape here, nice color to it. Bendy wire throughout, which you guys know I love some bendy wire. But man, oh man, you lift the arm, the head, and everything pops off. Just an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. I'm almost tempted to just super glue this in place. I hate to do that because then I can never switch back and forth. Obviously, you ever try to sell this one day, which probably never will, but you try to sell it and they're like, oh, wait a minute, this thing can't be removed. Might as well just throw it to the garbage at that point. So this is a very conflicting review. This is one of the worst figures of the year, and we're dialing it into the end of the year right here. So coming in hot, Todd, coming in hot on this list, but man, this is very disappointing figure, especially being the deluxe price point. I couldn't look past it at the $20 level, but when you're getting up to the $40s and $50 level, this kind of stuff should not be happening. So this is pretty sad, I would say. So it does look good, though. It's a good-looking figure. It's just the execution of the figure, rough, just rough. But you got the classic Batman costume here, of course, obviously a little bit darker. You see different shades, different tones. You got the belt going on, you got the boots, you got all the usual stuff. The usual McFarlane articulation, arms all the way around. Of course, shoulders, heads, everything falls off when you move the arm. That's perfect articulation everybody wants. Pin joints, just hits keep on coming. You get double jointed elbows there. Hands removable back and forth, side to side. Hula hoop up top. Waist articulation. The big old splits for Batman if you do need it. Legs do go up. Double jointed pin knees. Gotta love that as well. Ankles up and down, back and forth. We got the toe articulation though, Todd. We're playing some hits at least with that one. But I mean, might as well be the headless Batman. Could they write a story about the headless Batman? Because that's what he's going to be if you try to do anything with this one. Man, oh man, just a bummer of all bummers on this one. I like the looks of it. I like the idea of it. But man, this cape is way too heavy. Thought that was the problem. No, it's not in there deep enough. The hole inside needed to be way down in there to really stabilize it. Wasn't the case. So I don't know what happened with the factory over there, the design. I don't know how it didn't get transferred out and how somebody didn't go through the motions like, guys, every time we move the arm, the head pops out. We probably should do something about that. It just was never in there for anybody. And I'm pushing as hard as I can. And I don't think it's going to make any difference. It's not. You move that arm around, it's going to pop off. So what are we doing here today? This is kind of these reviews where you just contemplate your life and you say, is it all worth it? Is it worth doing all this? Do I close down the channel forever? Can I rise above this like the Phoenix? Is this the end of the road? Is this where I want to quit collecting action figures? I don't want a Batman to take me out. And I'm not a quitter, Todd. I never quit. I see everything through. You got to put one foot in front of the other. You have a setback, you dive past it. But this is one of those times where you really contemplate your life. You got to look deep in the mirror and say, what are you doing here? What are you doing with your life, Kyle? Why are you dealing with stuff like this? And even worse off, why are you spending $50 on something like this? You know, you could have put that in a fund for Jack Daniels or something like that. You know, like a party. Grab Jeff, George, and I will just go hammer a bottle of Jack. Who knows what we could do? I don't know. This is just very disappointing. Very disappointing. I want to be done with this. I want to move on from this, and I'm sure you'll see this again before the year's up. Spoiler alert, but very, very difficult on this figure here. Definitely highest to highs, the lowest to lows, and a great manager that mentored me once upon a time. He told me, Kyle, don't ever get too high. Don't ever get too low. There's always the ebbs and flows. And I guess that sums up this review here. This is about as low as we get this year for McFarlane. And I got to be the first to say, I was very difficult on McFarlane about 2 years ago. I was hammering about everything. They have really came a long ways over the last 2 years. But man, this is a setback, and we're seeing a setback here. We're seeing Mattel setbacks left and right. We're seeing Jazzware staining issues still going on. It's a dangerous time for action figures. We're seeing toy lines canceled. We're seeing all kinds of stuff going on. So next year, 2025, right around the corner, I don't know where it's going. I guess we'll see, and we'll talk probably more about that in toy news, that kind of stuff in the future, so stay tuned to that. But man, I can't recommend this to anyone. Not anyone, not even the homeless people, not even my worst enemy, not anybody like that. I can't recommend this figure to anybody. I'm sorry. Calls it like I sees them once again. Hard times, disappointment, Batman style. Todd from the couch, you're hiding behind the covers, hiding behind there. Can you at least face me? You can? Okay, Todd's a man. He'll face up to these things. Now, Todd, can you talk to the design team? Can you work through this? Can we make sure this never happens again? I hate to talk to you like you're 5 years old, but we got to do it. We got to do it sometime. From one businessman to another, you know. Okay, and Todd says, you know what? He's going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to talk to the team. You're going to call a meeting tomorrow. A Saturday meeting? Oh my gosh. You know it's serious when the head honcho calls a Saturday meeting. So they're going to get this rectified, I hope. But I would steer clear of this one unless you have no issues doing the old down on the arms display. If you want to do it that way, hey, this is for you. But for everybody else, steer clear of this Batman. There's enough other Batmans out there that'll get you by, I think. So there it is. Batman Detective Comics Hot Garbage 587, something like that. Fighting the homeless, night people. You know what it is. There it is. But for me, you can at least find me, of course, on this channel every single day and my other YouTube channel. Subscribe to both of those. Check out the Patreon for early access to all these videos, everything under the sun, and your best way to support the channel. You can also support the channel at PrestonTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget social media. Never forget it. I'm over there. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram, and now on TikTok as well. So check me out over there. So for Night People Batman, I'm day, night, morning, evening, dusk, Kyle, and I'll see you guys all real soon.